Hello, gamers. Apology for a bit of a long wait here at the beginning, right before I started to unmute. My dog walked in and started barking at me, so I had to go take him outside so he could use the bathroom. So, talk about timing. Anyways, I'm a game at, thank you. I'm sorry, Cobalt. Anyways, yeah, funny gaming. Let's, hop right in. We're doing more the funny crime game, except we're not committing crimes. That would be illegal. We're solving crimes. So, alright, yeah, let's go ahead and get back on. It's been a hot minute, so March 12th, 1 p.m. local time, Hope Springs Airport. I know that once we had landed, I was supposed to let the local police take over, and thanks to Miss Tinero and Miss Mille, I was able to preserve the crime scene. But I just can't shake it. I wasn't able to talk with Miss Tinero in private, so I'm left wondering just what was she up to? Why did she do what she did? There must be a way for me to continue my investigation. I've been expecting you, Miles Edgeworth. Yo, it's the funny lady with a whip. Franziska, I thought you were still in Germany. I go where I am needed, and wherever there are criminals to be caught. I want a whip. Just ask her. Her name is Franziska von Karma, the daughter of my mentor Manfred von Karma. She, like myself, is a prosecutor. Are you heading up this case? It would be a bit of a relief if you are. Don't you try to flatter me, Miles Edgeworth. I'm placing you under arrest. Oh no. Crime. What? It's quite frustrating, actually. I had hoped to exact my revenge on you in a different venue, but I'll have to take what I can get. I never thought I'd see the day when a disciple of the House of Von Karma would become a criminal. Franziska, honey, your dad murdered a man in an elevator. Yeah, definitely no one else before right now has been a criminal. Wait, it's all been a big misunderstanding. I didn't kill the victim. A misunderstanding? I heard all about the murder over the police radio from the captain himself. You waited for the victim on the first floor and then beat him to death. Franziska, do you honestly believe that I killed a man? I suppose I should reserve judgment until after I have investigated this for myself. I could put your arrest on hold until then. That's as it should be. Ha, I don't need a lecture on how to perform my duties from you of all people. To be perfect in every way, the fulfillment of that creed alone is all I strive for. Well, I have my own creed which I must fulfill, so why don't we solve this together? I have to get going. The crime scene awaits. Don't you dare leave town. Trust me, I had no intention to. Detective Gumshoe. My beloved! Yes, sir. Gumshoe, my beloved! Too slow. Ow. Listen up. I'm leaving you in charge of watching this man. Don't mess up, understand? Mr. Edgeworth, I'm supposed to guard him? A simple yes or no, detective. Ah, yes, sir. Understood, sir. You just leave it to me. Miles Edgeworth. If you interfere with my investigation, I'll arrest you on the spot. Are we clear? Now then, if you'll excuse me. Good to see you again, Mr. Edgeworth, sir. Boy, am I glad to see you're okay. Thank you, detective. I believe in you, sir. You can lean on me. I'll get you through this. I love you, Gumshoe. I have to admit, I'm a bit curious as to what Franziska is up to. Maybe I should ask the good detective. Very well, in that case, I have a few questions for you. Gumshoe, my beloved. Real dog? Real? Real dog? Real? Oh my god, real dog. Holy shit. Alright. So, how is the initial investigation going? We just shipped the body off to the coroner's office, and we're taking statements now, sir. That sounds like Francisca. She was always good at quick responses to a case. I'd say she was a little too quick, sir. Oh, how so? I rushed on over as soon as I got word of the affair, sir. Somehow, when I got here, Miss Von Karma was already here, barking out orders at everyone. It was kind of creepy, as though she knew there had been a murder or something, and had come in advance to await your flight's arrival. That is sort of odd. She did show up rather quickly and out of the blue. Plus, I still don't know why she's here in America. Yes, America! Which is definitely the country that we are currently in. America. With our great nation of America. There must be some backstory to all of this. Miss Von Karma just kind of popped up at the prosecutor's office about a week ago, sir. Something about chasing down leads related to a certain incident. No details? It's kind of top secret, so she can't talk about it, even with me, sir. Where'd the Rusty go? Oh, no. No, here, the only type of talking she likes to do is with her whip. Ooh. Oop. Plus, I doubt the top secret part was what stopped her from talking to you, Detective. Although, I wonder if her case has anything to do with mine. Anyway, that's about all the info I have, sir. We should find out more as we investigate. Yes, it is high time to resume my investigation, starting with talking to people involved in this case afresh. And we're back on the airplane, just like that. So, you must be the captain. Why, yes I am, and who might you be? I am the prodigy prosecutor, Francisca Von Karma, and I have a few questions for you. Don't you dare, Captain, getting friendly with another woman? Why? I'll never forgive you if you do. What are you talking about? I only have eyes for you, my dear Cammy. I wouldn't bet money on her dear Captain be much of a reputable person. Sure you don't want to ask the Captain some questions, sir? He was in the cockpit the entire time. I highly doubt he would know anything of use. Anyways, I like to leave that type of witness to Francisca and her whip. Yeah, let's just leave a man to get violently whipped by another person. Now see here. Sorry. I'm sorry. How long do you intend to hold me? It is impossible for me to be the criminal, I told you. Mr. LeBlanc. Oh, it's you. Tell this man to stop stopping me from going. Time is money. I only have 1 second of wasteful time to spend. Did you finish taking his statement yet? Yep, all done, sir. I do not concern if you're not done examining the cargo hold. I want my cargo back. If you make a single scratch on my art, you will pay. Art? What sort of art? Mr. LeBlanc is an art dealer, so he's got a bunch of artwork down in the cargo hold, sir. There's practically a mountain of them, large and small. From folk costumes to stone statues, I sell all kinds of arts. Folk costumes? Speaking of which, Mr. LeBlanc's hat. Kinda looks like that other piece of cloth. Alright, now it's been a hot second, so... Oh, this cloth. Obviously. Mr. LeBlanc, can you please take a look at this for me? Oh, it's a Virginian cloth. As I suspected, your hat is made of the same material, I suppose? Yes, of course, this fabric is so famous, orders come from over the seas for more. Then this is the cargo you were talking about earlier? No. My cargo this time is much many gigantic. You, Detective, when can I have my cargo moved? You can get your cargo back when we're done investigating, pal. Stubbornness of you police. It is no good. And it is no good that attendant refuses to exit the attendance room too. That attendant? I wonder if he's talking about Miss Nero. What did you mean by that attendant, Mr. LeBlanc? She was taken into the attendance room for her interview. And then they still have not come out. They make no sign of coming out either. I was finished with my own interview much earlier, quicker than her. Why is Mr. Nero's interview the only one that's taking up so much time? Miles Edgeworth, you were given free rein to examine the plane, weren't you? Yes, I was able to obtain the cooperation of the flight attendants. Speaking of attendants, I'd like to speak with Miss Tenero. I wonder if you might grant me permission to enter the flight attendant's room? Before I do, you still have to clear up a few issues surrounding your own circumstances. I understand. You may trick those attendants with your sophisticated talking, but you can't pull the wool over my eyes, Miles Edgeworth. We're actually doing this, okay. Let's not complicate things and go with the most obvious conclusion. The scene of the crime was here, in the very lounge the body was discovered. From the time the victim was seen calling for an attendant until his body was found, the only person in the lounge the entire time was you, Miles Edgeworth. This, unmistakably, makes you the likeliest suspect. Love the reading stream? Yeah. This is a visual novel, after all. Welcome in, Rucker. The likeliest suspect, Francisca? Do you have a problem with that? No, but it's not like you to use such vague wording. You're usually a bit more absolute. I'm simply trying to watch out for you. Or is my kindness too hard for you to comprehend? Thank you, but your leniency is unnecessary, for I will prove my innocence soon enough. To continue my investigation, I have to break her line of logic. Fast. Alright. Time to do what I do best, and spam that press button. Don't you think you're being a bit rash by simply declaring me the culprit? I like my affairs to be simple and perfect. I'll show you the meaning of both when I finish this whole thing within 3 minutes. Hey, you say that like you're cooking a pack of instant noodles. No, don't do my man Gumshoe like that. How dare you? I won't allow even 3 seconds of useless testimony to be uttered in my presence. I see she hasn't changed a bit, but I won't allow her to send me to prison so easily. So tell me, Francisca, do you know all there is to know about the crime scene? I know all that I need to know in order to arrest you, and nothing more? Are you saying there is more I need to know? Why did you whip me? Sorry, Scruffy, my hand must have slipped. Don't bully Gumshoe. No, he doesn't deserve it. I fear that Francisca doesn't have all the facts of the case yet. What do you mean by scene? Please stop pretending like you don't know. It's insulting. Obviously, I'm talking about how Mr. Hicks was seen calling for an attendant at 5 a.m. And then from the time after that call until the body was found. Well, it's true that I was in the lounge the whole time. That fact alone does not make me the criminal. We'll see about that at the conclusion of this investigation. However, there is one thing that even you must admit at this time. Under the circumstances, I suppose I can agree that I am the most likely suspect, but I believe in you, sir. I don't think you did it. Miss Von Commerce gotta believe that too, right? I mean, do her like... Don't bully him, no! Quiet, Scruffy. Even if we were related by blood, that's no guarantee that he's not a criminal. Francisca. I demand to see some proof that you are not the guilty party. The likely suspect on what a roundabout euphemism. But it would appear that she doesn't yet know about the new evidence that we acquired and where we acquired it. I'll take care of the gaps in her logic one hole at a time. Thinking. Trying to figure out which one I want to press. Which one I want to do it on. She doesn't no idea what you're doing, but I'm enjoying it. I'm using my brain. It was in here. Oh, I guess I'm just gonna. Okay, yeah, music stopped, so we good. I think I might have been overthinking it, but then again, it has been about 2 weeks since I last played this. It would appear that you did not have all the information you needed after all. And what does that mean? I found a nice piece of evidence just before I was forced to stop investigating. A piece that proves the body was moved from a different location. Oh, funny song! The killer used the suitcase to move the victim's body, meaning that the real scene of the crime is not the lounge at all. Now who's the one rashly jumping to conclusions? Excuse me? All you did find was this piece of cloth inside the suitcase. That doesn't prove that the body was moved. It could be that the killer simply chose that suitcase as a good place to hide the cloth. I expected you would come to that conclusion. It would seem that I can't escape that easily. You should know better than that. Avant, karma is perfect in every way. Except for the part where your dad gets caught for murder, and then you also lost in court to the same man several times. I don't think that's perfect. But did you know that the killer definitely wheeled the suitcase around at some point? As if there was proof of that. Where's proof that the suitcase was moved around? I think it would probably definitely be this one. Take that! A spilled grape juice in front of the elevator. Yes, and I'd like to draw your attention to this area here. It proves the killer dragged the suitcase through here. Right there, because it's like... I hope this isn't one of those finicky point out the thingy. Take that! This mark here. Didn't you say that looks suspiciously like tracks from 2 wheels? I suppose. Further, there is also grape juice residue on the wheels of the suitcase. This means that the suitcase containing the victim's body definitely passed through here. So this means that the killer did move the victim's body from somewhere else. I'm glad you come to your senses. Not so fast. This still doesn't put you in the clear. Not by a long shot. You prepared yourself and acquired the piggy bank before the plane hit that turbulence. And then you waited for the victim in the lounge where you beat him to death. Then, while you were in the elevator with the victim's body stuffed into the suitcase, the plane hit that patch of turbulence and out flew the body from within the suitcase. On the way out, you hastily put the suitcase back where you had taken it from, pretended to be the discoverer of the body. Not a bad bit of logic for something you thought of on the fly. Just what are you insinuating? That I will show you exactly how flawed your logic is. No matter how strong of a face you put on, not even you can hide your fears from me. I'll expose the flaws in her logic with one fell swoop. Sounds like Among Us tactics. I mean, Among Us is basically Ace Attorney. Basically the same game. Imposter sus? Sussy? Alright, before I'm just gonna go through my evidence again real quick. And how do you suppose I was able to take the piggy bank out of its display case? As I recall, the case was locked. That's easy. If the case was locked, you simply had to hit the glass, like this. No! Stop it! Stop doing that to Gumshoe. I love him. You've shattered my heart of glass. So, she wants to talk about the Inflace shop and the Mr. Iffy Bank, does she? I can hear how you obtained the murder weapon. I thought there wasn't any of the victim's blood found in the lounge. I thought you'd say that. What, did you think I wouldn't have noticed? I think you just found a way to cleverly hide the blood splatter in the lounge by accidentally spilling grape juice on top of it. Ugh, are you accusing me of tampering with the crime scene now? We'll see, won't we? The forensic scientists are hard at work on that as we speak. And what do you propose I did after that? So I put the victim's body into the suitcase and then? Where was I heading, Francisca? It's pretty obvious. You were bringing it to first class where you could safely keep an eye on it. We're talking about this thing, you know. I'd hardly call it discreet or ordinary. Annoying brat. Well then, you were intending to leave it inside the elevator. But unfortunately for you, a wrench was thrown into your plans because... Plane hit that patch of turbulence. You've experienced turbulence on a flight before. Of course, many times. You get used to it after a while. The patch we hit was especially rough, and I passed out briefly, but only for a second. Good thing it was only for a sec, sir. It'd been bad if you had really blanked out. Yes, indeed. Fortunately, blanking out is exactly what got me into this mess in the first place. That's enough of your idle chatter. I'm not through with you yet, Miles Edgeworth. If I really were a criminal, do you think I would be so easily caught? You are certainly in the middle of being caught right now. Yeah. I have to find a contradiction fast or I won't have much of my own hide left to save. I have to say, you are looking rather caught right now. And I'll tell you exactly what you did after that. You loitered around in the lounge. I didn't pretend to be anything. I really was the first to discover the victim's body. I suppose that's true. So then, you are yielding to my statements? Don't be foolish. I still insist that you are the killer, but in that sense you really were the first to discover the body to be dead. Otherwise, it seems that is not making me out to be the killer. Logic is reasonably sound, and the large majority of it reflects the truth. There is one point about it that is not quite right. Alright. Alright. There are two statements I want to try this on. Okay, yeah, the first was right. It was other. The fact that you took this piece of evidence into account in your testimony is to be commended. Your legal prowess is certainly something to be feared. Evidence and logic, essential tools that those who would stand in a courtroom must learn to master. But what if there was a fake piece of evidence thrown into the mix? A fake? This, Mr. If I Fly Piggy Bank, is not ju- is such I can't speak today. Is just such a fake. It is not the real murder weapon. What? Timing of when the bank was taken from the shop is important, and it was taken after the turbulence had occurred. But then what about the blood on the bank? What do you make of that? I assume it was added after the murder when the killer fabricated this weapon. Looking at it this way, the killer basically did three things after the turbulence. After exiting the elevator, the killer brought the suitcase to the shop and left it there. Then the killer proceeded to pick the bank up from off the floor and took it to fabricate a fake murder weapon by hitting the victim on the head. Finally, the victim's wallet was planted on my personage, in my pocket to be precise. Everything was done so that I would be framed for the murder of Mr. Ackby Hicks. You there. Yes, ma'am. Other than this piggy bank, was anything else resembling a murder weapon found? We didn't find anything in this lounge or in the shop that could be used as one, ma'am. Most of the items that could have been used were broken during the turbulence, and the remaining items all tested negative for any trace of blood. I see. Well, Miles Edgeworth, it appears your stall tactics are at an end. It's possible that it's just hidden somewhere, sir. Eek. The criminal had wanted to hide the weapon in a safer place. I think the weapon would have been hidden in the same place as the bloody cloth. Exactly what I was thinking. Because the cloth was hidden inside that suitcase signals to me that the killer had not prepared a more secure place to hide the evidence. Which means that the real murder weapon is either still on the murderer's personage, or still at the real crime scene. There's one more possibility, and that would be that the piggy bank is in fact the real weapon. But didn't we just... Let me finish. The killer took the bank out from the display case before the turbulence by opening the lock on the display case door, and it was at that time that the glass pane in the door was broken. I'd say that's a perfectly reasonable line of reasoning, wouldn't you? Let's see, so that means the killer had the key to the display case. Francisca, the person you're talking about. Not so fast, I'm not finished. The person I'm talking about also committed another sin. She tricked the captain, and granted you permission to conduct your investigation. Yes, it is the sin of lying. Speaking of which, recall that you also wish to speak with her. Yes. Very well, permission granted, but only if I can sit in on your interrogation. Do we understand each other? I have no intention of interrogating her, but you are welcome to accompany me if you so wish. Miss Tenero is in the flight attendant's room. Let's move. Alright. Just give me a sec. I'm just gonna need to deal with some pings real quick. Alright. Alright. So you're the one that poked around inside this plane without the captain's permission. Deviating from the flight attendant's manual is very unbecoming, you know. What were you hoping to accomplish by doing that? Miss Tenero. Ah, Mr. Edgeworth, you're here too? Can you please help us and shed some light on why you did what you did? Alright. Why did you lie about receiving the captain's permission like that? Because I didn't think I would be able to get his permission. What do you mean? The captain. He only has ears for Cammy. I spoke with the captain a little earlier myself. He definitely seems to be rather taken with Miss Mealy. Yes, and on top of that, I had mistakenly accused Mr. Edgeworth of being the killer. I wanted to make amends. In that case, please allow me to thank you for what you did. Thanks to you, I was able to clear myself of all charges. Really? You're able to prove your innocence? Oh, thank goodness. Miss Tenero, is it? There's one more thing I'd like to ask you. You were in the in-flight shop just before the turbulence, weren't you? Please answer honestly. Yes, I was. And why were you there? Well, Why the sudden hesitation? Francisca seems to have struck a nerve. All I did was go check up on the shop like I always do. You're saying it was for work then? Yes, I'm in charge of the shop, so I have to keep an eye on it. I don't have any reason to go there otherwise. After your visit to the shop, you paid a visit to this room, correct? Yes, I came back to freshen up and adjust my makeup. I'm sorry, but there isn't much else to tell. Miss Tenero claims to have no reason other than duty to go to the shop. Is that all there is to it? Maybe we should ask her about that thing. Oh boy. What thing? This? The suitcase? Please take a look at this for me, Miss Tenero. Oh, that suitcase. Yes, about the suitcase. You were the one who designed it, correct? I think I figured something else out about it. This suitcase is the reason you went to the shop, isn't it? There's nothing you won't find out eventually, is there? Won't you please tell me more about this suitcase? Yes, I was interested in seeing how the suitcases I had designed were selling. I know that as a service professional I'm not supposed to care, but I really wanted to know. And I was glad to see that it was the last one there. The last one there? But that doesn't make sense. There were two there. So you're saying, Miss Tenero, that the suitcase in question was the last one? Yes. They're just so popular, they're practically flying off the shelves. That's not exactly the impression I got. The one in the shop is most definitely the last one. Well, we're currently looking at that suitcase. Really? Then I guess we sold all of them. Thank you very much for taking the last one. I didn't say anything about buying it. Then say you'll buy it. I'm sorry, I can't. But why? I think it'd go great with your complexion, Mr. Edgeworth. It really suits you. Yeah, this definitely looks like a suitcase that a Miles Edgeworth would own. It really does suit him. No hug is cracking me up. I guarantee it personally as a service professional. Well, that is, how should I put this? It's hideous. What? Maybe that was a bit too direct. Man, Edgeworth, you really know how to talk to the ladies. You really are a ladies' man. Moving on, my issue with the suitcases isn't the design, it's the number of them remaining. Remaining? There were 2 suitcases in the in-flight shop when I investigated it. 2? But that's impossible. I'm sure there was only 1. Looks like your story has generated quite the contradiction. When I left the shop, I'm positive there was only 1 suitcase left. Something is amiss here. What could be the meaning of this inconsistency? By the way, Miss Tenero, what is one of those suitcases doing here? I thought you said there was only 1 left. That one is, it's mine. I've used it for a very long time now. He's used it for a very long time? I think not. Miss Tenero, I'd appreciate if you wouldn't lie to me. Excuse me? I don't believe for even 1 second that you used this for a very long time. Proves that this hasn't been used for nearly as long as Tenero says. The price tag is still on it.
Take that!
Tell me, Miss Tenero, is it also your habit to keep the price tag pristine on your suitcase? What is the meaning of this? Why would you lie about a suitcase? Despite having faith in her design sense, the sales number made her cry bitter tears. The truth is becoming increasingly clear to me. Miss Tenero, I think I understand. I know what you are trying to hide. Now then, this suitcase was originally in... Seeing as how the price tag is still on the suitcase, one can only assume it was out on the floor for sale in the shop. The person who bought the suitcase was... Did she buy her own suitcase?
Take that!
It was you, wasn't it, Miss Tenero? She really bought her own suitcase. I hate to say this, but this suitcase that you designed, it hasn't sold very well, has it? You saw how poorly this design that you poured your heart into was selling, and were deeply hurt. That's why you wanted to make it look like I was selling by buying it yourself. Isn't that right? Then the reason you went to the shop and came back here was, I'm sorry, all I really have is my job. Or I was overjoyed when my design was chosen. I thought that maybe I had finally accomplished something. But the suitcase didn't sell. It's because of the design, isn't it? All because it's, as you put it, hideous. I can't say they chose a great place in which to sell them either. We weren't selling a single one, and they were just sitting there collecting dust. I felt so bad seeing them there day in and day out. Ew. Hello, Manic Panic Views. Welcome in. Playing some Ace Attorney. So I decided to buy one for every flight I worked. You buy one every single time you work a flight? God damn, lady. I see, so in order to keep your resolution, you went and bought one today as well. Yes, and here is my receipt for that purchase. This receipt is clearly timestamped at 5:40 a.m. The truth is, there's still a bunch of them left unsold. They're planning to scrap the remaining ones at the end of this flight. Mr. Nero, where are these other suitcases? They should all be down in the cargo hold. Then the suitcases the killer used could very well have come from the cargo hold. Mr. Edgeworth, you don't think the killer used one of my suitcases too? Yes, I do. The killer used one of your beloved suitcases to move the victim's body. Yeah, how could they? The suitcases were meant to be faithful partners to our passengers on their trips. That's all I ever wished for them to be. Mr. Nero, is there any other way to get to the cargo hold other than the elevator? The only other way is just through that door there. And what about security? The door has no special lock installed because, just to enter this room, you need a special key card that only crew members have access to. Which means that the culprit is someone who can enter this room, eliminating the passengers and leaving only crew members as potential suspects. I can't believe it. Yes, Francisca? Going on these wild goose chases, you're a disgrace to the Von Karma name. Not like it had much grace left to it. And what do you mean by that? The suitcase came from the cargo hold. That fact alone tells the whole story. Yes, which is why it's that the culprit must be a crew member who used their keycard. Miles Edgeworth. You're proposing the killer rode the elevator from the cargo hold, correct? Yes, that's the only realistic possibility. That other attendant, Miss Mile. I asked her earlier and she had this to say. Francisca got information out of Miss Mile. In order to make the elevator go down to the cargo hold, a different keycard is required. A different one? Yes, and the only person who holds that particular card is you, Miss Rhoda Tenero, and only you. Ah. What, is this true, Miss Tenero? Yes, I keep that keycard in my locker at all times. Could you please show us that card right now? Yes, hold on. Oh no. Actually, objection, dumbass. Haven't you heard? Did Woofle not tell you? Timeout spamming. Oh, this is a timeout. God damn it, Cobalt. Cobalt fucking carrying the timeout economy. Alright. I'm sorry, Don Scene. It's a good one. It's a good one, Cobalt. What's wrong? Keycard, it's gone. Ha ha ha, very clever. Pretending that your card was stolen when in fact you're just trying to hide it from us. You've really thought this through. Wait, it's not like that. You tell us all about that, all about what it's like down at the station. Officer, arrest this woman. Yes, ma'am. Minister Edgeworth. What's wrong? There's disbelief written all over your face. Francisca, I know that you are the lead investigator on this case, however. Hold it. Don't even think about wasting any more of my time. You know the rules as well as I do. Evidence speaks louder than words. Even if this isn't a courtroom, that basic tenet still applies. I intend to investigate the cargo hold now. What will you do, Miles Edgeworth? I intend to do likewise. Ooh, to be continued. Ooh. March 12th. Wow, so this is the cargo hold, huh? It's so big. Is that a mouse pointer on your Nintendo DS? Cobalt, I can explain. My Nintendo DS has a mouse USB plug-in. Special made. There's like only 3 of them in existence. This plane is a special model. It has both a super large cargo hold and an ultra luxurious first class seating. This is the most... How does this plane fly? How? It has a huge ass cargo hold. It has a lounge, and then on the floor above that lounge, which also has a shop in it. Now, above that lounge is another floor where people sit. That How does this plane fly? It's like fucking massive. Next thing you're gonna tell me is that there's a hot tub in here, or like an actual indoor diving pool or whatever. God damn it, Cobalt. I'm gonna have no viewers after this. I am the only viewer. You know, maybe I should consider putting a limit on the timeout reward. So is this the real scene of the murder? There is certainly a high probability of that, which is why we are here, correct? Okay, let's get investigating, sir. Now you have no viewers. Who am I timing out? Oh, Cobalt. I'm literally going to have no one in this chat. 0 viewers. Might as well actually ban. I need to send for anyone in my Discord, exclamation mark Discord, by the way. Just gonna take a picture of what my chat says, and I would just like to let you know, um, this is this includes everything from the beginning of stream, because that's how much has been deleted. That's how much has been happened from the timeout. Hold on. So yeah, if you're not in my Discord, join it so you can see what my entire chat looks like after this massacre. Alright, time to do some good old-fashioned investigation. Holy suitcases, Mr. Edgeworth. It's like an all-you-could-use suitcase fair. These must be all the leftover ones they couldn't sell. The ones the company is planning to dispose of after this flight is over. This paint job is really cool, don't you think? It practically screams artsy. Oh, why not purchase one then? I'm sure it will bring you much happiness. You think so? Then maybe I will. Let's see here. $1,200! Jesus Christ, that is expensive as fuck. I think I'll pass. And Miss Tenero wonders why they don't sell. You need 2 jobs just to buy one. It definitely looks like one is missing. What is this brittle substance I'm stepping on? It's a bunch of glass fragments? Hmm. Keeping track of this many pieces of cargo must be very taxing on the cargo crew. The shimmering like memories of when I worked as a part-time mover, sir. By the look in his eyes, he's waiting for me to ask about the rest of the story. But no matter how he pours on the puppy eyes, I have no intention of doing so. No, I want to learn this deep gumshoe lore. Oh, I just love pushing the button on elevators and crosswalk signals. Based. It's me too. Here, you should give it a try, sir. Go on, push it. The elevator is currently stopped on the first floor, detective. It can't move. Oh yeah, I guess nothing would happen if you pushed it now. Well, nothing would happen normally anyway without the special key card. Both the door to the attendant's room and the elevator control panels. Welcome back, Cobalt. Acquire a key card, which makes it impossible for a passenger to come down here. All sorts of boxes are piled up here. This one says flammable, and this one it says pharmaceuticals, I think, is how it's pronounced. This one says for exorcism use only. Yep. Just what kind of operation is this airline running? Oh, let's see, beat me to it. Cobalt dies again. Everyone's getting revenge, Cobalt. What kind of operation is this airline running? Yeah, exorcisms? Goddamn. Hey, what's with the suitcase, pal? It's what the victim checked in, sir. So this suitcase belonged to Mr. Hicks. I don't think he'd mind if we took a closer look. Nothing out of the ordinary in here, sir. Wait. A file? There's a photo of Miss Von Karma in it, sir. It's like a profile on Francisca. Why would Mr. Hicks have a file on her? Have you noticed anything strange happening around here? No, sir, I haven't noticed a thing. I'm not sure that he meant to sound so oblivious. Well, I know one thing that I have to do. These definitely are connected. I think we can safely conclude that these fragments are from a pair of glasses. No way! Big brain. Actual 9 head. Maybe even a 10 head. The victim was wearing a pair of broken glasses. Exactly what I was thinking. I'm sure that the shards would match up perfectly with the remnants of his glasses' lens. Ergo, the victim was here, just as I suspected. So you're saying that the real scene of the crime was here, sir? Isn't that what I've been saying for a while now? Oh, is it? I didn't know that. Perhaps it's a bit early to draw that conclusion. However, I believe that the probability has just skyrocketed considerably. All that's left is to find the murder weapon. You arrived at the scene of the crime before Detective Gumshoe, correct? And you then immediately began to direct the investigation. It seems to me that you were already here at this airport for something besides this murder. Yes, I was. I've been following a very large and involved government-level international crime. But it's much too large for one person to take on alone, so it's deduced that I should form a joint investigation with Interpol. Interpol is involved? It's a top-secret operation, so I really can't tell you more than I already have. That has to be it. Now, why would Mr. Hicks have documents profiling Francisca? Oh, I know, I bet he's a big fan of Miss Von Karma, sir. Francisca said that she had come to this airport as part of an Interpol investigation. Oh, maybe Mr. Hicks had heard she was coming here and he followed her. Detective, I think it's more likely that Mr. Hicks was in actuality Interpol agent Hicks. I think Francisca has some explaining to do. You came to this airport to rendezvous with the victim, didn't you? Nonsense, what are you talking about? I found a profile detailing information about you in the victim's luggage. I suppose it was prepared for him so that he could recognize you when he landed. Which makes him not Mr. Hicks, but rather Interpol Agent Hicks. Isn't that correct? I should have known you'd figure it out, Miles. Dickhead McGee destroys his game with facts and logic. Welcome back, Cobalt, for the second time. Looks like I got to him first. So you really did come here to receive an Interpol agent, then? Yes. Agent Hicks was on the trail of a very large international smuggling ring. Points for another time out, but I wouldn't want it anyway. I had my fun. Yeah, Cobalt, you went broke destroying my chat. Watch more Woofle, Cobalt. Pharmaceutical. You said it doesn't even look like a real word, even though I know it is a real word. He went undercover to investigate this crime. And it was I who put him on this case. I was supposed to. Oh, come on, Automod. You can't just catch the gay shit. I feel like this is the second time I've had to allow this. And of course Automod allows that without any problem. Supposed to receive a call from him on his cell phone once he had landed. I never expected to receive a call about his murder instead. I think we now have pretty definitive evidence that Agent Hicks came down here to the cargo hold. Didn't that happen in Zach's chat as well? Yeah. But what was he doing down here, sir? There's nothing but luggage. Oh, I get it. Maybe he forgot something in his suitcase and came down to get it. Ow. Agent Hicks came here for a work-related reason. Of that, I'm sure. Automod is homophobic and transphobic. That is true. That is indeed quite true. Oh my god. Yes, I'm sure he was here to investigate the smuggling operation he was observing. And probably sexist. I wouldn't be surprised. Francisca, do you know exactly how he intended to pursue his investigation? No, unfortunately I was going to find out from him after he landed. Also, hold on. Alright. I see. This raises another question. A normal passenger can't access the cargo hold on their own. Agent Hicks must have identified himself to a member of the crew and entered the cargo hold with that person who let him in. Yes, and then he was murdered here. These glass fragments and his broken glasses are a testament to that. And then... the killer put Agent Hicks into one of the spare suitcases and they entered the elevator, but while they were riding it up, the plane hit that patch of turbulence. Because of the intense shaking, the suitcase popped open and Agent Hicks' body flew out. At the same time, his wallet fell out of his pocket, spilling its contents everywhere. Police planes say there was money scattered all over the elevator floor. Wow, what a hard and very involved investigation segment. I literally just inspected like 3 things and like did 2 things of logic and then talked to somebody. I think it's pretty easy to say who is the culprit at this stage. What? Really, sir? I know what you're thinking, Miles Edgeworth. But the killer can be none other than Miss Rhoda Tenero. If it was a crew member, any one of them could have showed Agent Hicks to the cargo hold. But point to keep in mind is the keycard that allows the elevator to come down here. The only person with such high-level access is Miss Rhoda Teniro. Get better, TBH. Hello, Pixel. Welcome in. You missed a massacre. Almost everyone in my chat got timed out at least once. I say that's a pretty decisive piece of information, wouldn't you? I know what she's trying to say, but I'm not certain it's as simple as that. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go and put a put a limit on the timeout reward after this.
Hold it.
That might be true. But then it could be anyone, including Miss Melee or even the captain. Damn, I have some mad delay. Huh. I'm not getting any drop frames, so maybe it's on your end. It's better now, yeah. Don't be a fool. A plane without a pilot in the cockpit is like a horse without a rider, crop in hand, much like Scruffy over there. IDK Twitch does that sometimes. Yeah, Twitch is really weird. What a perfect and flawless streaming service. Can't disagree with her on that. Detective Gumshoe does always need a guiding hand. Very well, then what about the other flight attendant, Miss Melee? Hi, I thought you might ask about her. I have delay as well, but I'm on my phone. Yeah, mobile always has delay. I will fool, and I'm upset that I missed the massacre. Yeah, it was really funny. There's a point where like the only message I can see in chat where like the message is left at the very beginning of stream. Yo, real dog. Holy shit, dog. People Pod Climbing Tree. Yo, is that famous? Is that famous Twitch emote, People Pod Climbing Tree Hard 4 House? That is very famous for being People Pod Climbing Tree Hard 4 House. Bruh, hi Stratton.
Hold it.
But it's highly likely that keycard was stolen from Miss Teniro. It's highly likely. Is that possibility the best you can come up with? And you call yourself a disciple of my father. Yes, well, I don't have any evidence, be quiet, you're a disgrace. There's more evidence pointing to Mr. Rhoda Teniro, you know? Can't say People Pod Climbing Tree Hard 4 House the first time? I said it twice, but that was just because I wanted to say it twice, because it's a very cool emote, People Pod Climbing Tree Hard 4 House. Are you talking about the murder weapon, the Mr. I Fly piggy bank? Yes, she is also the only person with a key to open that display case. I didn't even get time to read that. Stop right there, Miles Edgeworth. You don't have any proof that this is just a red herring. You must keep on insisting that it's a fake. Then what is the real murder weapon and where did it go? Speechless, I see. That's not a surprise. After all, you know that we searched the entire cargo hold and came up empty-handed. There must be a way. There must be something that can help me rule out the piggy bank as the murder weapon. What should be examined further to help us ascertain the authenticity of the weapon? The body? I would assume it would be the body. Francisca, I think you were too quick to jump to your conclusions. Oh, was I? Yes, we don't even have the autopsy results yet. Yes, we need to update the autopsy report, guys. How can I not say that you made a snap judgment when you have yet to even see if the wound on Agent Hicks's head is consistent with the murder weapon? Scruffy. Yes, sir. Contact Medical Examiner's office at once. I wish to hear the results of Agent Hicks's autopsy. Eek. Yes, sir. We've got a big problem, Mr. Edgeworth, sir. What is it, detective? They're still doing the autopsy, but they said they already know this one thing for sure. Report, now. The doc said that it's one giant bruise from a beating from his shoulder down to his mid-back. From the victim's shoulder to his mid-back? He was beaten over such a wide area? Well, I'd say maybe it's a sign the killer had a grudge against Agent Hicks. It wasn't just his head. The killer went all out and hit him multiple times, sir. Scruffy, what is this? What is had a grudge against Agent Hicks supposed to mean? Well, that's, Was the wound on the victim's head consistent with the murder weapon, detective? Oh, well, they said that they were still looking into that, sir. You're completely useless. Yow! Sir, I told you already, you can't go down there. No, you remove yourself from my way. What is all that racket? My luggage, my cargo, they're mine and I demand you return them to me. We're still investigating the cargo hold. Please understand and have a little patience. I suppose there is no choice. Finally, I think you get... Hey, what are you? You have no choice but to use strong force. You won't get past me. This is... Wait, that's it. So that's what this whole thing has been about. Further, there is the matter of the key to the display case. The murderous bank. We're just gonna let this man fall to his death? That'd be very epic. This man is gonna fucking die. We just watched a live murder happen. I'm gonna think maybe it's these two. Let's try. Nope. Just kind of going through all my options. Nope. I doubt this is it, but... Nope. Makes sense. Allegedly, the killer struck the victim many times over, which is why there is extensive bruising over such a wide area. This is cheating, TBH. I like it. True. I'm just saving time, you know? But is that really the correct conclusion to draw from the evidence? The bruise from his shoulder to the middle of his back is one continuous mark, which is more suggestive of a single blow to the back. If that's the case, then the piggy bank is much too small to have caused that. Therefore, the murder weapon must be something far bigger. If we're looking for a rather large weapon, you'd think it would stick out. But so far, we haven't found anything that resembles a weapon of any sort. Perhaps, just perhaps, it's something we all overlooked from the very beginning. Because normally it's too impossibly big to be taken into consideration. Well, what was that all about? Was he trying to jump his way down here? Francisca, what do you want? I found it, Francisca. I found the real murder weapon. You did? He really jumped. Bad storm, I can't stay power for twice a second, staying off and it can cut out at any point because of it. Alright, well, stay safe, Cobalt. We didn't realize it until now, but the answer has been right in front of us this whole time. He might be hurt. We should go check up on him, sirs. There's that pompous attitude of yours again. You should learn to drop that habit. This coming from a prosecutor with the habit of whipping everyone she comes across. Anyways, if you really are a prosecutor, then you back yourself up with evidence. You two aren't listening at all, are you? Yeah, we're just gonna let this man die. Kinda deserves it for, yeah, the way he dressed, his atrocious style, you know? then show me this real murder weapon you speak of. Well, I don't really have the evidence to show, so... I don't have any evidence to show you. Foolish reasoning for a foolish fool from a foolishly foolish fool meant to fool me. Oh. Yo! Jake with the raid of 5. That is so epic. Why is this poor soul called Gumshoe? Also, yeah, Pixel still don't have the shout out command because I haven't been bothered to make it because I'm just that fucking lazy. I have followage though. That's the one you did set up. What do you mean by I don't have any evidence to show? True, base from me. That is quite correct. 1 year, 1 month. Yep. Yeah, cause Pixel, Pixel, I know you and Trent were around for that, like the 2 Pokemon Mystery Dungeon streams I did. Perhaps I should have phrased the way as that which caused Agent Hicks's death is incorporeal. Forgive me, but I do believe I figured out what was the real cause of death. Free fall. The victim fell from a great height and subsequently died as a result. In other words, the real cause of this is free falling to the ground. He fell to his death? Yes, this is the only plausible possibility. The victim has extensive bruising on the back of his head and his back. The only rational explanation for the injuries is that he fell to his death. But the murder happened inside the plane, I know. Are you claiming that there is some place in this plane from which he could have fallen from? As I said earlier, the answer has been right in front of us the entire time. You can't mean. Yes, I do. The victim fell from the top of the stairs of this very cargo hold. But what? Then we're in trouble. We may have a second death on our hands, sirs. So yeah, this is... Anyways. Yeah, welcome. We're playing Ace Attorney right now. But we're not playing as the lovable Phoenix, right? We're playing as everyone's favorite Miles Edgeworth. My house. Hey you, tell me you aren't dead, pal. Clap. That's it, yeah. Yo, person who might be dead, are you dead? Quiet, why are you screaming? He's alive. And there you have it, Miles Edgeworth. It's not possible that Agent Hicks fell over the railing to his death. That man is living proof of that. I suppose it's true that it's not possible, given the current circumstances. The current circumstances? What is that supposed to mean? Suppose that large piece of cargo wasn't there at the time. What would have happened then? He would have been a Borginian pancake for sure. Suppose that man over there wouldn't still be breathing. The reality is that the cargo box is there, so there is no point in entertaining your wild hypothetical scenarios. If it may be there now, but there is no proof that it was always there. Ha, as if there could have been a window of time when the giant box was not there. Ah, but there was. What? What can I use to show her that it's possible the box was not always where it is now? The turbulence? How do I show turbulence? Where's... Oh, would it be the refueling, I guess?
Take that!
You refueled in the Republic of Zhangfa? Yes, this flight had a short layover in Zhangfa in order to refuel. But that wasn't the only reason for the layover. We also transferred some cargo. What if the box in question was only transferred onto the plane at that time? Further for my point, let's take a look at what's next to the box in question. Ah, it's labeled Zhangfa Express. Correct. Meaning that was loaded onto the plane in Zhangfa. Now, what if the box in question was also loaded on at the same time? It would mean that the box was not here in the cargo hold during the Europe-Zhangfa leg of the flight, making a clear drop from which Agent Hicks could have fallen to his death entirely possible. Yo, real dog! Dog, real. Doing real dog things. What you want, dog? You just gonna sit on my bed? Okay. but your theory is still very far-fetched. Didn't allow me the chance to prove how very likely my scenario is. My first order of business will be to examine that piece of cargo in more detail. Alright. This is a rather large piece of cargo. There's a tag on it, sir. Let's see. Aleph Red statue? Never heard of it. Nor I, but all I care about is if we can prove it wasn't here at the time of the crime. Then let's get investigating, sir. Words. Rusty, what you doing? Rusty? Dog? Out. Look here, do not go about touching my possessions without my permission. Ugh, don't rush up on me like that, pal. This belongs to Mr. LeBlanc, doesn't it? I should see what else I can find out from him. Alright, hold on. I'm gonna take a quick break real quick. I will be right back. I just want to check on my dog real quick. Alright, I'm back now. Alright. I did not mean to press that. I wanted to talk. I take it that this large piece of cargo belongs to you, Mr. LeBlanc. Of course it is mine. I shipped this fine piece of art from Europe. The Aleph Red statue is worth 10 million cents. No more. No, maybe much, much more. Mr. LeBlanc's reason for choosing this plane must have been the large cargo hold. 10 million cents? Please just stop trying to calculate how many packets of noodles that makes, Detective. Darn. How did you do that? I feel like you keep getting better and better at seeing right through me every year. Though I grow with each revolution of the planet around the sun, I have a distinct impression he continues to madly spin in place. Hey, Mr. Edwards, so that 10 million cents, is that in euros or dollars? Does it really make a difference to our case? Mr. LeBlanc, there's a chance that your cargo is related to our murder case. I was wondering if you would allow us to examine it a bit closer. It's a very valuable piece of art, so no, there will be no touching. I have an idea. Ah, I was right. Mr. LeBlanc has something to do with the smuggling ring, and it's possible this fake statue was brought on board in Zhangfa. I think I need to question him a bit further. About your statue, Mr. LeBlanc. I wonder if it might be a fake. What? How dare you say my art is fake? It's like that your statue might be the target of an international smuggling ring. Don't say such fantastical things, those thieves were not there. I have the certification of my cargo right here. Do you mean the cargo certification document? Mr. Zing LeBlanc, why didn't you say so earlier? Please show it to us at once. I can't read this. What does it say? It says as plain as day, the cargo was put onto the plane in Europe. And there you have it, Miles Edgeworth. Too bad for you. The statue was brought on board in Europe, just as it states in this certificate. No, which means that there never was a window of time in which the statue wasn't sitting there. I respectfully disagree. We can't discount the theory until I see the statue for myself. Then you have your wish. Look at it yourself and see I am right. I know I've seen this somewhere before. This is the Aleph Red. With such a feeling of art, I can practically smell it. The statue has a high amount of historic value. After it was unveiled at a museum in Europe, I brought it to this country to exhibit it. I believe a closer look is warranted here. Yo, hi Xander, welcome in. We're doing the funny murder stuff. So this is the infamous Aleph Red statue. What is it, Mr. Edgeworth? Did you find something? There's something wrong with this picture. We should examine it in more detail. Hey, wait a second. What's this? Statue looks like it's stepping all over its neighbor's cloth cover. Kind of resembles its owner's attitude in a sense. Yo, murders? I love murder. True, same. Unfortunately, we're not committing the murders here, we're solving the murders. You, what did you say now? Further, my clothing's hem is not being stepped on by anyone. It is too expensive for me to allow that to happen. Please forgive the trespasses of my subordinate. Why should I forgive it why should I forgive the dress passes unless that is an expensive dress you keep it? Who wants to talk about murders? True. I wanted to deduce this. Because the cloth can't be under it if this was loaded on in Europe, as it says. Aw, oh, come on. Where the fuck is that? Hold on, just gotta get the exact pixel. You sure are pretty, and look at that fiery orange color, sir. Well, according to Mr. LeBlanc, this whole thing is worth a pretty penny. Ooh, I just got a really great idea. I could probably find some rocks down by the river I can polish up to look like real jewels. I think I'll try that out and give one to Maggie as a present next time. I wonder if he's serious, and I wonder if I should try to stop him if he is. No, that's... His eyes made of some sort of gem. It's a real nice shade of orange. For a sec, I couldn't even tell they were jewels. Oh, but they kind of remind me of the eyes of the stray cat that lives near my house. The eye's supposed to be this color. Plus, with the statue is a fake? Alright, I guess I'll deduce and... Oh, come on. Yo, thanks Pixel. Oh, wait. Forgot that statue was in that picture. That's what I get for not. There are days I don't know if this works. Let me test it out real quick. I was about to test it out on Jake, but yeah, looks like that works. Yeah, I guess the only change is that I don't know why the plus M is there, but it's meant to make it moderator only. Ah. Documents out of date, yeah. It might be something that I could change on the actual Streamlabs site, but because he needs to make it moderator only, Xander. Because right now anyone can do a shout out, so uh Pixel, if you give me a sec, I can go on the Streamlabs site and see if there's something there. I need to do my two-factor. Okay. Just give me a sec while I fix this. Convert your clips to TikTok. No thanks. Cloudbot. Commands. Shout out. Edit. Wait. Permission. Moderators and streamer. Alright. It should only be moderators and streamer now. Alright, back to the game. Yeah, and pretty. They remind me of sunsets when I was in grade school, sir. I don't think you see what I'm talking about. No, I do, but it's really like the color of the sun when it's setting. Ah, the memories. I remember standing out in that field, spinning with my arms out until I felt ill. I don't care about sunsets. Focus, detective. What color are the eyes in this photo? Huh? Ah, sir, they're red. As I thought. This statue is a fake. You can't do shit with commands and chat anymore because they have a website? Yeah. What do you want? Do you not know I'm a busy man? I allow you 2 seconds for your answer. Yeah, Fred. I suppose this is your pride and joy, is it not? It is the biggest trophy on this European trip. Do you know why I wanted to possess this statue? The trigger started 17 years ago. Better grab a chair, sir. Sounds like this is going to be a long story. Mr. LeBlanc, I regret to inform you, and you have my heartfelt sympathy, but... What is that? Sympathy for what? You'll see. I'd like you to compare the eyes. The large fellow there has very bright and pretty eyes compared to you. I wasn't talking about the two of us. I meant the eyes of the statue in front of us and the one in this photo. Why the sudden yelling now then? Oh! LeBlanc would be better off dead. True! I hate him. There's a photo of the statue on display at the museum in Europe. What? Now do you see, Mr. LeBlanc? The statue before us is a fake. A fake? I believe that even further examination will be required. Now that we have confirmed that this is indeed a fake, there must be some sort of proof that this was brought on board in Zhangfa, and I will present to you the evidence that will resolve the remaining contradiction. Is it the fucking... that? Was it really just because I was 2 steps ahead of the game? Nope. What else do I have? What? Stepping all over his stairs. What am I looking for here? Because the only other thing I can think of is that the cloth, it's on top of the cloth. It shouldn't be on top of the cloth. That's not how cloths work. Any other noticeable differences? Am I supposed to present the cargo? This game is so fucking dumb. There's clearly a contradiction here. What are you going on about? It's just a simple case of a cargo cover getting stuck under another piece of cargo. Ah, that's not possible. But it is. It shouldn't be this way, but the statue is on top of the cloth. Supposing that the neighboring piece of cargo was brought on board in Zhangfa, there's no way that any part of it should wind up under something from Europe. I think that this fake statue was smuggled on board in Zhangfa. But then what about the cargo certificate? Let me ask in return, what about Agent Hicks? Why did he come down here in the middle of the flight? There's only one reason why, to secure proof of smuggling activity aboard this flight. So you say, but I don't believe he had to do that mid-flight. We could have just as easily inspected all the cargo after the plane landed. That may be true, however, you have it backwards, Franziska. Sure, Agent could have waited until after the plane had landed, but he had a reason for coming down to the cargo hold. Suppose he had found the fake at the airport. It would have been after the swap had occurred. At that time, the suspicion would have naturally fall onto the statue's owner. He would have no way to prove that the statue was switched without his knowledge. It means there is someone involved who is forging or modifying cargo certificates. I still don't get why... whatever. There was a dumb choice of evidence. I had the right idea, but... ugh. Guess the victim knew the real version of this was gonna get nabbed, huh? Yes, while this photo could be seen as nothing more than a simple souvenir, it was in fact taken to be used as a reference document later on. Next, Agent Hicks had the secure proof that the smuggling had taken place. He came down here to take a picture of the cargo hold, a rather empty one at that, right before the fake statue could be loaded on board. A photo of the hold missing a valuable piece of cargo would have been proof enough. After that, all he had to do was hold the Zhangfa cargo crew and arrest the smuggler. Also, alright. Exactly, this only goes to prove my theory. If the statue was not in the cargo hold during the Europe-Zhangfa leg of the trip, there would have been enough height from which Agent Hicks could have fallen to his death. Officer, move the statue immediately. I want a thorough examination of the floor underneath, now. Miss Von Karma, I'm ready to report my findings. Go on. After moving the Alfred statue out of the way, we tested the area under it with luminol, and there was a reaction. I see there was a reaction to luminol, an indication that there was a body in that spot. Can we stop looking at it now, sirs? It would seem that my deductions were correct after all. I suppose it would appear that way. The culprit cleaned the blood up as well. And how do you think the killer did that? The killer cleaned up all the blood?
Take that!
The killer used a bloody cloth I found inside the suitcase to clean up the mess. I see. They had a need to clean up all the blood before the plane landed in Zhangfa. Yes, because otherwise the cargo crew would have discovered it during the layover. So you guys are saying that the murder happened before the plane landed in Zhangfa? There's no other conceivable timeline for the events of the murder. But if that is true, then that throws a certain person's testimony into doubt. I don't remember any of the fucking testimonies. Could be Miss... I'm just gonna go through. I think maybe her? Call Miss Miele's testimony about Agent Hicks in regard to when we departed Zhangfa. Saw Mr. Hicks sitting at his seat at 5 a.m., you know? Okay, yeah, I guess. She claims that Agent Hicks was alive at the time of the service calls, but... that totally contradicts the facts, sir. But why would she lie about something like that? She's the fucking killer, isn't she? I think the only person who can answer that is Miss Miele herself. Let's see this out to the end. Because I have a feeling we're nearing the end of this case. Miss Miele. Miss Miele. Huh? Do you recall what you said earlier? About when you answered some service calls as we were departing from Zhangfa? Huh? You said that Mr. Hicks was sitting in his seat at that time. However, that is simply not possible, because Mr. Hicks was dead long before we ever touched down in Zhengfa. Oh. Miss Cami Mile. Maybe I didn't see what I thought I did? No one can make a mistake so large, Miss Mile. But I make that kind of boo-boo all the time. Ugh. This is going nowhere. There must be a better way of resolving this contradiction. Very well, Miss Mile, if you please, tell me about your alibi during the time span, from just before we were to land at 3 a.m. and 6 a.m. when the body was found. Are you telling me I'm a suspect, Mr. Edgeworth? Yo, real dog. Dog is returned. Oh, yeah. From 3 to 4, I was, in the flight attendant's room all by my lonesome self. Oh, yeah. And from 5 to 6, I was, in the flight attendant's room all by my lonesome self. How is a man supposed to react to a testimony like that? Miss Mile, wake up. She fell asleep again. It's like the only way I'm going to be able to wake her up is by pressing her. Oh man, guys, I wonder what we need to do in this testimony. Oh man, I wonder if I have to press everything. I mean, I was going to do that anyways, but...
Hold it.
Miss Mile, wake up. I'm awake. Miles Edgeworth, I demand that you do something about this flight attendant this instant. Why ask me to wake her when you can finally put that whip to an appropriate use?
Hold it.
If I remember correctly, food was being served in first class in the lounge between the hours of 3 and 4 a.m. Yeah, but that kind of stuff's run by Miss Rhoda. Then what were you doing in the attendance room at that time? Eating and then having a most delicious dream. I mean, you were neglecting your duties. No way, sleeping's part of our job too, you know. Sure it is.
Hold it.
Miss Mile, how many times do I have to repeat myself? Wake up. I'm awake. Youch, what did you whip me for? Oh, what did I miss? Poor detective being on the receiving end of a lash in your stead. Really? Sorry about that. We can make amends for that by continuing with your testimony.
Hold it.
So you were alone the entire time, were you? Yeah, no one else even popped their head in to say hi. Oh, well, I think a contradiction just popped in to say hi. Should I raise an objection? Miss Mile, there's a clear contradiction embedded in your testimony, huh? What are you talking about? It's not possible that you were alone in the attendance room the whole time from 5 to 6 a.m. Just give me a sec while I... Has to be this.
Take that.
I wonder if you would be so kind as to take a look at this receipt, Miss Mile. Huh? A receipt? For what? It's for the suitcase Miss Tenero bought. Now, I may direct your attention to the timestamp. As you can see, it clearly says 5:40 a.m., Miss Tenero. Yes? Why is the killer here? Thought you'd have her locked up by now. I requested that she be present as a witness so that we may straighten out your complex lie. Now then, Miss Tenero, between the hours of 5 and 6 a.m., you took a trip from first class down to the first floor in-flight shop, correct? Yes, I went to the shop to buy a suitcase, after which I went straight to the attendance room to drop it off. And did you see Miss Mile there at that time? No. So, Miss Mile, where were you, really, between the hours of 5 and 6 a.m.? Stop falling asleep. Miss Cami Mile, huh? The bathroom? I'll be the one to ask the questions here. Yeah, maybe that's it. I probably just missed her. Nature calls, you know. Do you take me for a fool? That's a little too convenient to be true. But it's the truth, cross my heart. I don't have enough conclusive proof to counter-argue her at this stage. You don't believe me, do you? But please, won't you give me a chance and hear me out? Look, I know you're suspecting me because I'm one of the crew, but you'd think that maybe you should also suspect Miss Rhoda, too. She's the one in charge of the elevator keycard in the shop, you know. If you ask me, that makes her super sus. Among Us. Please leave Miss Tenera out of the conversation. Only you are under suspicion for now. I don't get it. Why are you covering for Miss Rhoda all of a sudden? Oh, now I get it. Maybe you've got your eye on Miss Rhoda. Of course I'm keeping an eye on her. I can't very well let her escape, can I? Never mind, but you want to know something? Miss Rhoda actually kinda I have absolutely no interest in people who can't appreciate my sense of design. Now's not the time for this sort of talk. Look, I know you're suspecting me because I'm one of the crew.
Hold it!
No, it's not the only reason I have for suspecting you. Your statements regarding Mr. Hicks also turned out to be a bunch of lies. Ah, but say I wasn't in attendance, you wouldn't suspect me then, would you? Yes, I suppose that's true enough.
Hold it!
I'm talking now. Can you hear this? Yeah, okay. Okay, that's good. Just wanted to make sure. Just wanted to make sure. Sorry, being changed for the questioning, or I already forgot. Oh, yeah. Guess I just forgot. Cammy, don't tell me you suspect me, too. Sorry, can't help it. I mean, other than you, there's no one else who could have done it. I can't believe you would think that. I mean, me, a killer? Just be like, what did you mean just now by no one else who could have done it?
Hold it!
And what are you in charge of, Miss Melee? I take care of the attendance room. That doesn't count. Oh, but I spend so much time in there, it might as well be my responsibility. Mr. Edgeworth, Cammy is very talented in languages, so she assists passengers who may not speak English, especially those who speak Borginian. She is the only one on this flight who is fluent. Oh, you mean that kind of what am I? You mean that kind of what am I in charge of? Why didn't you say so in the first place? What else could I have meant? Yeah, so I'm really good at Borginian. She's fluent in Borginian. Then I suppose you're in charge of processing documents in Borginian? Yeah, I take care of anything that has to do with Borginian. Very interesting.
Hold it!
Actually, your on-the-job behavior makes you super suspicious in my eyes. Yo, it's like I'm actually playing Among Us. But why? Well, Miss Tenera is busy with the passengers and all of her other duties. You have a lot of free time on your hands, thus providing you with ample time to commit the crime. Miles Edgeworth, I demand that you cease and desist in this line of conjectural questioning. I won't allow you to bluff your way through this like a certain defense lawyer. Ugh. But I do not honestly believe Miss Melee does any actual work aboard this flight. Oh, that's not true, Mr. Edgeworth, although, well... There we go. Alright, I'll be right back. Hold on. Alright, back now. So, you're the only one in this flight crew that speaks Borginian. Is that correct? Oh, yeah, I guess so. Studied abroad in Borginia for a while. If that is the case, then the signature on this document belongs to you, doesn't it? Funny song! Actually, objection, dumbass. This is a falsified piece of documentation with only one purpose: to lead anyone who read it to believe that Mr. LeBon's statue was loaded in Europe. The only person who could have either prepared or processed this document in Borginian is you, Miss Millet. Without your participation, the smuggling of the Aleph Red could not have occurred. Don't sleep while I'm pointing my finger at you. Oh, I wouldn't dream of falling asleep on you, Mr. Edgeworth. It is exactly as you say. Are you confessing to having participated in the smuggling? No, far from it. It's true that I'm the only one that was one who signed off on the document, but you can't use that fact alone to make your allegation of smuggling stick. There's no direct correlation after all. All you have is my signature on a piece of paper. Really? All you did was sign it? I neglected to check if the cargo had been loaded onto the plane properly. So sorry about that. Seems that she's finally woken up. This is going to be one tough fight. Suppose this is just superstition. Even if I was involved in the smuggling, you can't throw a charge of murder on me just like that. Food. If you're involved in the smuggling, you would have a strong motive to kill. Agent Hicks was in the middle of an investigation regarding a smuggling ring, and just when he was about to close in, he's killed by a member of that ring. Well, did you ever stop to think that maybe Rhoda is the smuggling ring member? After all, like me, Rhoda has access to many things on this plane for work purposes. So perhaps there is some element of a setup at play in this case. What are you talking about? Don't worry, I wasn't talking about you. I meant the killer. First it was myself, and now it's Miss Tenero who was under the microscope. It seems to me that our killer is going to great lengths to pin this crime on anyone they can. You have no proof that Rhoda is being set up or that she isn't. Actually, I believe that she was indeed the intended target from the very beginning. I believe that the plan was to push all the blame for the crime onto her, and this evidence will prove my suspicions. I guess the suitcase.
Take that!
The killer could have hidden the body anywhere, and yet they chose the suitcase. Why is that? Perhaps it was to move the body from the lower deck to the first floor. However, why go through the trouble to do so? The only way all of these actions make sense is if the killer had wanted to frame Miss Tenero for the murder. Miss Tenero buys a suitcase on every flight she works without fail, but should her suitcase be switched with the one containing the victim's body, that would put her in a very tight spot. Unfortunately for the killer, the turbulence put an end to that plan. There wasn't enough time to put the body back into the suitcase. Ergo, they made do with whoever was at hand, adapted their plan, and tried to frame me as I lay unconscious on the floor from the turbulence. The killer then went to hide the suitcase in the in-flight shop, and brought the piggy bank back to the elevator in order to fabricate a false weapon. A lot of work for a fruitless endeavor, wouldn't you agree? Sounds like the killer had a tough time too, huh? I mean, why did the killer need to frame someone that badly anyway? That is because of the special circumstances surrounding this particular case. Guess maybe who it was? No. Yeah, where makes more sense now I think about it. Special circumstances is simply that the murder took place on a plane mid-flight. No matter which country, customs is quite strict in this day and age. So no matter what you do, the chances that the body will be found is very high. Therefore, there was no choice but to frame either Miss Teniro or myself. In other words, the only one who fits within the boundaries of the criminal's movements is not Miss Teniro or myself, but you, Miss Cami Millet. Only you and you alone could be the killer. Yawn. And? Are you done already? I was about to fall asleep again. Anyways, let's be honest here. You don't have anything on me other than a whole lot of circumstantial evidence. Ugh. I can see the outline of how the murder occurred, but I have no definitive evidence. Isn't there a piece of evidence that's still unaccounted for? Something I still can't quite fit into the big picture. Oh, would it be this? I guess the cell phone.
Take that!
I don't have any actual evidence. I thought not, but that's because it went missing and still is. Missing? What do you mean by that? In a complex puzzle that is this case, there was one piece I kept getting stuck on, and that is the victim's cell phone. Francisca, you were waiting at the airport for a phone call from Agent Hicks' cell phone. Or at least, that's what you told me. That's right. But Agent Hicks' cell phone could not be found at the crime scene. You mean the killer took the phone with them? Precisely. I suspect that if we were to find that phone, it would lead us to the killer. Haha, come on, get serious. If the victim fell to his death from that height, wouldn't this phone break as well? We won't know until we try a little experiment, will we? Francisca, I'd like to ask for your assistance. You know the victim's phone number, do you not? Of course I do. Agent Hicks' phone. It's ringing from somewhere, sir. I hear it. No, where is it coming from? Crime scene is here. All this was to catch the killer. Maybe it was on the floor. Maybe she has it. Miss Millet, wake up. Sorry, Mr. Edgeworth. I got sleepy all of a sudden because it sounds like a lullaby I used to love as a child. Here, I will get behind this and find the truth. Sounds like the phone is up in the flight attendant's room. Oh, how was I supposed to How can we hear it from down here? Hold on. Just need to eat some of my food. It's being stubborn. Ringing's coming from somewhere in here, sir. Leave no stone unturned, Detective Gumshoe. We must find it. I just need to here, then let's look somewhere else. Locker. I'm gonna come to the room in here, sir. What? No, it can't be. This has got to be the victim's cell phone. Just whose locker is this, sir? It's Mr. Nero's. What? So, Mr. Edgeworth, how did it go? Where did you find the phone? I found it in the flight attendant's room, in Miss Tenero's locker. What? But... Rhoda Tenero. I don't know anything about the phone. It wasn't me. It wasn't me. Miss Von Karma, is it? I suggest you arrest Miss Rhoda Tenero right away. Wait, I have a theory. This is related to the incident with the keycard. When the killer went to steal the keycard, they conveniently stashed the cell phone in Miss Tenero's locker at the same time. This is related to the keycard, alright. In the same way that we have zero proof that the killer did just that. Ugh. The only voice that sings the truth is evidence. That is the one burden we cannot ignore. What should I do? Francisca's right. I can't offer baseless conjectures at this point. Alright then, why did the culprit take the cell phone from Agent Hicks? It must have something very incriminating on or in it.
Hold it!
What now, Miles Edgeworth? It's not over yet. We have yet to figure out why the killer took the phone. What? Inside this phone lies the final piece of incriminating evidence that will point us to our killer. We need to examine this phone in more detail. The LCD is broken. Without a screen, you can't even place a call with this. Ah, it's a camera lens. Come to think of it, I wonder, how exactly would Agent Hicks plan to preserve the crime scene of a smuggling? Francisca, I need you to confirm something. The cell phone, can it take pictures? Mr. Edgeworth, I can't believe you don't know about this kind of basic stuff, sir. It's like a very similar model to my own, and mine can take photos just fine. Do you think Agent Hicks had taken some pictures with this? In particular, pictures as evidence for a smuggling case? If so, I'd say there may be some very inconvenient photos in here for our killer smuggler. But the phone's all busted up, sir. Even a super prosecutor can't repair a broken phone. Ugh. I'll find a way, don't you worry about that. May I go back to sleep now?
Objection!
The LCD screens on the inside and outside are broken, that's for sure. But that's also reason enough to believe that the killer wasn't able to erase the data. What? What do you mean by that, Francisca? It looks like our killer isn't very familiar with electronics. This phone still rang when I called it, meaning that only the LCD screens are broken. It's possible that the photos are still there inside, waiting to be accessed. All we need to do is transfer the data to my phone. Francisca, your phone, if you please. Very well. It's transferring. Alright, displaying it now. This is... Agent Hicks was most certainly trying to obtain some evidence for a smuggling case. Hey, the Alfred's nowhere in this pic, sir. It had no meaning as a piece of evidence in this murder case, right? Ouch, she's right. There's not much we can find out from this about Agent Hicks's killer, sir. Is this it? Is this the end? Is there really nothing in this photo that we can use? See, this photo is odd. Agent Hicks was still alive at this time, so what exactly is so odd about the suitcases that haven't been used? I'm only pointing out things that are different between now and then. You're off topic ramblings, but tend to sleep again. What's all this? Oh. They are a cargo ship from Virginia to Zhangfa. So the reason they aren't here now is that they were dropped off in Zhangfa. Mr. LeBlanc, can you tell me the contents of the boxes? Unfortunately, there is no English written on them anywhere. One of the cluster boxes written in Virginia, and it says It is cloth in English. Cloth? Could it be? Is this where the killer... Well, what? What for is that scary face? Miss Mealy. Yes? It appears that Agent Higgs was no ordinary investigator. He left us with a piece of evidence, after all. A striking piece that will point out who his killer is. Ha! Maybe you shouldn't force your mistaken reading of a simple picture, Mr. Edgeworth. Or go with it. It'd be this cloth. Right?
Take that!
And what is that supposed to prove? The killer used this piece of cloth to wipe up the blood they had spilled. But there was one thing that bothered me this whole time. Where did it come from? And now I have finally found my answer in this very photo. The cargo that was unloaded in Zangfod had cloth written on it. In Borginian, that is. And this is where the killer grabbed a piece from to clean up the blood with. That's right. The killer was someone who could read and understand Borginian. And the only crew member that fits the description is you, Miss Cammy Mealy. Ha, that's pretty flimsy. The killer probably searched through all the boxes looking for something to use. When you're frantic, you don't care if the box is in English or Virginian. Sorry, but I cannot agree with your assessments of the killer's indiscriminate nature. What? There was no need for the killer to tear through boxes at random at all. And if the killer supposedly could not comprehend Borginian, well then... Logically, the killer would have opened this box first. Bed sheets.
Take that!
Hey, it says bed sheets in English right on the box, sir. Precisely. And bed sheets would be perfect for cleaning up blood, wouldn't you say? So what are you trying to say? That if I were the criminal, this box of bed sheets would have been what I have spotted first. However, the killer chose to use some Virginian cloth. Do you have an explanation for that? The killer didn't want anyone to know that the real scene of the crime was this cargo hold, so they were afraid to leave signs that the box for the sheets had been open. However, the Virginian cloth, well, that's a horse of a different color. The killer knew that it was going to be unloaded in the Republic of Zangfa. That's right. This is why the Virginian cloth was used. And the only Virginian reader on board who could make such a calculated decision. It's you, Cammy Mealy. You and you alone. Ugh. It'd be very easy for us to confirm if any of the boxes were resealed. All we'd have to do is contact the Zangfa authorities in time. We may even find other evidence to incriminate our killer within those boxes. So what do you say, Miss Mealy? Why not confess to your crime here and now? Or would you rather wait and see what we find out from our investigation in Zangfa? Ooh. No. No. Man, she's popping the fuck off. God damn. You okay? Damn. I didn't know bubbles could be that deadly. He was Interpol. I couldn't stop it. I brought him here. He started taking pictures. I couldn't be found out. I was scared. I was in trouble. You what? Damn, I'm just gonna cut right past it. We finished making all the arrangements to take the suspect in, sir. Very good, Detective. What about the smuggling route? Did she say anything about that? We're taking her down to the precinct now. Hopefully we can get more out of her there. Whenever we even approached the topic, she just started foaming at the mouth. It was scary, sir. She probably wasn't prepared to commit a murder all of a sudden. One thing is for sure. The ring behind this whole mess means serious business. It looks like there's a lot more to this case than meets the eye. Mr. Edgeworth. I just wanted to say how much I appreciate everything you did. Thank you very much. Oofle, guess who is no longer dying of storm-related internet issues. Go back to learning my retrans. Welcome back, Cobalt. We caught the murderer. Crime has been eliminated. It was nothing. In fact, I should be the one thanking you for your cooperation. But truly, if it wasn't for you, I might not be here right now. Instead, I continue to serve our passengers as a flight attendant. I hope that, well, please accept this as a token of my appreciation. That's... I see. You don't have to take it if you don't want it. Then no, I mean, I would never turn down a lady's generous offer. Oh, thank you. I'm sure it will serve you well. And remember, we here at iFly Airlines are always ready to serve, Mr. Edgeworth. Thank you. I'll keep that in mind. May all your skies be blue no matter where you go. I can't believe we wound up investigating the whole day, sir. But boy, was it fun. Speak for yourself, my day was filled with earthquakes, elevators, and false charges. By the way, where's Franziska? Oh, she's filling out some customs paperwork for her departure. Departure? Yeah, Miss Von Kammer is always really busy, sir. She's been flying from country to country to chase down some leads regarding her case. Detective, can you cancel the car I had you reserve earlier? You got it, sir. Franziska. I thought I told you when you first landed, I have no time for idle chatter. I have no intention of wasting your time. However, it has been a while since we last met. The car I canceled earlier just got banned from Twitter. Let's go! Let's go, finally! A successful use of cancel culture. Because who do you think I am? You're Franziska von Karma, a very proud prosecutor deserving of much respect. Until only a little while ago, I was but a wretched mutt who was always losing to you. A dancing I can't pronounce words. Living her life on the name and fame her invincible father built. True, your father, Manfred von Kammer, didn't lose a single case for 4 years as a prosecutor. However, he murdered my father in an elevator. However, I wouldn't say he was invincible, because he murdered my father in an elevator. What are you talking about? The route on the trail of is a little more troublesome than most. The smuggling route we found this time is only one sliver of the big picture. Sounds like a dangerous assignment. You really don't have to worry. I can take care of myself. Yes, I suppose you can. Plus, there's another agent on this case with me. Oh, another agent? He's a star amongst Interpol agents, and he has the highest successful arrest rate. Who knows, you may even run into him one day. I was simply caught up in this one case. I hardly see why we would cross paths. I suppose. But I doubt he would say the same. I'm not following you. You'll understand soon enough. The fight has only just begun, Miles Edgeworth. I'll be back in this country soon enough. And when I am, you can be sure I'll pay you back in full. And just like that, she's gone, huh, sir? Thank goodness, I can finally rest easy knowing I won't have to watch out for her whip. Detective Gumshoe, I want to thank you for all your help and cooperation. Oh, it was nothing, sir. I was just happy to be able to work with you again. I think I'm going to celebrate by adding a little extra salt to my instant noodles tonight. How much did you cut his salary by, Franziska? Detective, I was wondering if you might give me a ride down to the prosecutor's office. Sure thing, sir. I'll even fly down the road in the patrol car if you want. Don't make me remind you, Detective. Safety first. Thus, I solved the first case upon my arrival home. Franziska von Karma, the smuggling route she was after. The leaders of that ring had already put their trump card into play. And the players on the other side of this war, they would begin to make themselves known through the next incident. Edgeworth speaking. Ha, finally. I called who knows how many times earlier, but I couldn't get through. And you are? Have you forgotten my voice, Miles, my boy? Mr. Amano? Ernest Amano, correct? Ah, so you do remember me. I know it's rather sudden, but I can't ask this of anyone else. There's been an incident, Miles. My son, he's been kidnapped. Uh-oh. I guess we'll just have to wait next time, then. Guess we'll just have to wait for the next stream. Yes, and he woke... Yeah, he did have a kidnap. He woke up refreshed. Unfortunately, we're just gonna have to figure out what happens next. Next stream. So, yeah. Anyways. Shame, don't know her. Can she tie me up? Oop. Anyways, let's see if there's anyone live now who I can raid. Not really, I guess. uh, oh, Cobalt. Anyways, I guess I'll just end stream here. Thank you guys for stopping by, and I'll see you guys next time with more funny games and content. Later.